Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be listening to The Times They Are A-Changin by Bob Dylan for the very first time. I know you've been awaiting and now we have arrived. so 10 tracks is what I see. I'm excited to jump in. We did the first part of No Direction Home the other night. I believe it was Friday. We watched that together live. If you want to see a few highlights of that, let me know and I could post it on the channel. So before we jump into the album, I want to provide you with a bit of background, hopefully a spoiler-free background. So, The Times They Are Changing was released on February 10th, 1964. This was Dylan's third studio album, coming just a year after the freewheeling Bob Dylan. Fast. Unlike his previous two albums, which included covers, this one marks the first time Dylan recorded exclusively original compositions. Its songs, mostly stark acoustic ballads, tackle topics like spoilers. The album peaked at number 20 on the US charts and later earned gold certification, while reaching number 4 in the UK in 1965. Dylan was around 22 to 23 years old during recording, already emerging from the folk circuit and fully establishing his identity as a songwriter of moral and political depth. This album solidified his shift from performing traditional songs to becoming a poet voice of his era, with a growing reputation for incisive songwriting. All right, and then cultural and historical backdrop. This was released amid the early 1960s, civil rights movements, and rising social awareness. The album's lyrical focus on justice, change, and historical reflection resonated with a generation eager for transformation. Dylan's writing on this record explores, and we will stop right there because that is a spoiler. All right, so I'm excited to jump in. A little nervous. I'm always nervous. I'm nervous because it matters. I'm nervous because it matters to me. I want to do a good job. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. That is all. It's not like a bad nerve. It's a good nerve. I'm nervous because I care. All right, so we're going to jump into the very first track on the album, The Times They Are Changing, the album title. And yeah, I guess we will see where it goes. This is produced by Tom Wilson. All right. Let's go. Volume up. And we'll just jump right in. Let's go.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, or the times they are a-changing.
I would just like to hear the intro one more time.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, or the times they are a-changing. Some writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming was the loser, now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Senators.
Okay, so I want to just comment on the first two verses before we go any further. It definitely sounds like a call to action, for regular folks, for people in media, to kind of pay attention to what's happening, that things are changing, the times are changing. And I feel like what's most striking about this first track is just, the relevance of it. I feel like that will always get me about music like this, is how much things have changed, but as people say, how much they remain the same, you know? It feels like a lot of the things that he's talking about here are still the same. I love his writing in this first verse where he says, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that you soon will be drenched to the bone. Very good writing, man. Very good writing. And you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. Very good writing. And, you know, I'm kind of surprised by how, yeah, it makes sense that it says 5 verses, because it feels to me like the verses are just flying by really, really quickly. So, yeah. All right, let's keep on listening. I like the direction of the song. I like what the song is doing too.
Congressman, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside raging will soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changin'. Mothers and fathers.
For this third verse, this here, don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. This to me, of course, sounds like legislation. Like, don't be the ones to impede change. Like, get out of the way, man. For he that gets hurt will be the one who has stalled. Get out of the way, man. Let's let the times they are changing. I like it.
Mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changin'.
He's such a audacious young man. Am I using the right word? I hope I am. Like, the audacity to feel like you can call out all these people at your young age and challenge them at your young age is quite inspiring. And I feel like, sometimes you're trying to figure out, like, who are the members of your audience and who do you need to address. And like, I feel like the ease with which he has done this here is quite surprising. And mothers and fathers throughout the line, like, your daughters, your sons and daughters are beyond your command. The world is changing, your old world is failing, so if you can't lend your hand, then get out of the way. I love it, man. This is a good song.
The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changin'.
I find his harmonica work to be so endearing and calming. Um, for this track, I feel like, just like in general, I just enjoyed what the intention is behind it. I enjoy the fact that it seems to be a call to action for all these people to realize that the world is changing around them and they need to adjust. And that conversation, that call to action remains relevant today. So, enjoying it. Let me see. In the liner notes for his album. Okay, this was definitely a song with a purpose. It was influenced, of course, by the Irish and Scottish ballads, Come All Ye Bold Highwaymen, Come All Ye Tender-Hearted Maidens. I wanted to write a big song with short, concise verses that pile up on each other in a hypnotic way. The civil rights movement and the folk music movement were pretty close for a while and allied together at the time. Almost everyone knew everyone else. I had to play this song on the same night that President Kennedy died. Somehow it became a constant opening song and remained that for a long time. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, definitely a song with a purpose, definitely still relevant, well written, addresses all the people that need to be addressed, and definitely went by quickly. So he spoke about, it's stacking upon each other. It definitely did, you know, come across that way. So I can see that. All right. The times they are changing. Very good. All right, let's move on to Ballad of Hollis Brown. Let me take a swig of my drink. I actually just want to look at verse 5 again. It says, "The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are changing." And in a way, like he almost positions himself like a fortune teller, like he is reading time, predicting what that which will come, that which will come. But of course, I feel like, it's clearly just observation skills and just exposure, and it comes through in his writing. And I just like like all of these verses land so powerfully, and I really like the song. All right, let's move on to Ballad of Hollis Brown. Oop, need to pull up the lyrics. Sorry. That's good.
Hollis Brown, he lived on the outside of town. Hollis Brown, he lived on the outside of town.
Beautiful tone.
With his wife and 5 children and his cabin broken down. You looked for work and money, and you walked a ragged mile.
What is it about the melody of this that is just so seductive and inviting? And it's just music like this it's just so good. I went full screen. I'm sorry. Let's keep going. Listen to that.
Hollis Brown, he lived on the outside of town. Hollis Brown, he lived on the outside of town. With his wife and 5 children and his cabin broken down.
I just want to say, sorry for interrupting so much. I just want to say that I enjoy the pacing. The pacing of the song is really, really good. Like I feel like I'm being given so much time to picture Hollis Brown in my mind, like slowly, because of the pace at which he's delivering the lines. I feel like he's like taking shape in my mind's eye, and I really like that.
You looked for work and money, and you walked a ragged mile. You looked for work and money, and you walked a ragged mile. Your children are so hungry that they don't know how to smile. Your baby's eyes look crazy, they're tugging at your sleeve. Your baby's eyes look crazy, they're tugging at your sleeve.
What are you talking about, bro? What?
You walk.
I guess that's two separate statements. Your baby's eyes look crazy, and they're also tugging at your sleeves. Okay. Wow.
You walk the floor and wonder why with every breath you breathe. The rats had got your flour, bad blood had got your mare. The rats that got your flower, bad blooded got your mare. If there's anyone that knows, is there anyone that cares? He prayed to the Lord above, oh please send you a friend.
Sounds like they did something different there to make his vocals sound different.
The rats that got your flower, bad blooded got your mare. If there's anyone that knows, is there anyone that cares? He prayed to the Lord above, oh please send you a friend.
Interesting writing.
You prayed to the Lord above, oh please send you a friend. Your empty pockets tell you that you ain't got no friend. Your babies are crying louder now, it's a pounding on your brain. Your babies are crying louder now, it's a pounding on your brain. Your wife screams and stabbing you like the dirty driving rain.
I mean, like, it's just, this is just really well done. I feel like in every single verse, I can see this world of this person being shaped. I can see the pain. I can see what they're going through. And just the delivery alone makes it just so good. So I'm enjoying this. It's sad though.
Your grass is turning black, there's no water in your well. Your grass is turning black, there's no water in your well. You spent your last long dollar on 7 shotgun shells.
No. No.
Way out in the wilderness.
I really hope it's not going where I think it's going because 7, he has 5 kids and it's him and his wife.
Cold coyote calls. Way out in the wilderness, a cold coyote calls. Your eyes fix on the shotgun that's hanging on the wall. Your brain is a-bleeding and your legs can't seem to stand. Your brain is a-bleeding and your legs can't seem to stand. Your eyes fix on the shotgun that you're holding in your hand. There's 7 breezes blowing all around the cabin door. There's 7 breezes blowing all around the cabin door. 7 shots ring out like the ocean's pounding roar. There's 7 people dead on a South Dakota farm. There's 7 people dead on a South Dakota farm. Somewhere in the distance there's 7 new people born.
This is so sad. I feel like what stands out to me about this track is how many people's stories are like this. Like, yes, this is, you know, perhaps a made up tale about somebody called Hollis Brown, but there's so many people who are struggling on the day to day and have nobody to rely on. And while we could look at this and say, oh, this is just such a sad, like, thing that he made up, it's like they say art mimics life or something. And so, you know, I don't know. It's just really sad to hear this story and to know that it's just like it's happening all around us, and you just don't know what people are going through. You see them and you just don't know, and sometimes it leads to terrible outcomes like this. Excellent storytelling from Bob, excellent pacing. The use of the guitar throughout, I think, helped with building up that like slowly by slowly slowly the strumming helped to create and paint a world, and I felt a part of it, and I could see myself on that farm, and I was a part of it, and it's just really sad. Yeah, this is sad, man. It says a folk blues telling the grim and dramatic story of a poor and despaired man on the edge of nothingness, set in what can be imagined as a skeletal, dusty, and rural South Dakota. Yeah. I feel like so far we've heard two tracks, and I think what stands out the most is just um his writing ability definitely stands out. His perceptiveness at such a young age stands out. I just I don't really know what pushes somebody to write like this at such a tender age, but he's doing it really, really well. All right, let's move on to With God on Our Side. Hmm. The times they are changing. I guess one of the main things I want to like hold before me is just like how does the other tracks on the album complement or speak to the main title track and the actual title of the album? I guess we'll see as how it comes together.
Oh, my name, it ain't nothing. My age, it means less. The country I come from is called the Midwest. I was taught and brought up there, the laws to abide, and that the land that I live in has God on its side. Oh, the history books tell it. They tell it so well.
Mm-hmm.
The cavalry's charged, the Indians fell. The cavalry's charged, the Indians died. Oh, the country was young, with God on its side.
This has to be one of my favorite Bob Dylan songs. Yep. I feel like what I get from this more than anything is just the irony of it all. I don't know if irony is the right word, but I feel like people want to believe that God is on their side. Like I don't know, something good happens and you're like, "Wow, God has blessed me." Something bad happens, and then what happens then? Or for example, like I've always thought it was foolish for people to like to pray before like games, like praying like before like a soccer game or anything. To me is like praying to win. I'm like, what do you think? Like, you think God is gonna give you an advantage over the other team so that you could win? If anything, pray to remember that which you practice. Pray to, be strong and to not get injured. But you can't pray to win, you know? So it's like what he's writing here just like speaks to that. How like when you are the aggressor, when you are doing something, when you are trying to win something, the narrative is that God is on your side. But what about the other people? What about them? Who's on their side? Is God against them? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just really good writing, a lot of thoughtfulness. And I think I can see why a lot of you wanted me to watch No Direction Home, because I can see this part here where it says, "My name, it ain't nothing. My age, it means less. The country I come from is called the Midwest." This was in there how he feels like he wasn't from that place, that he was finding, he didn't know who he was in that context, and like, kind of finding himself. And I can see it coming out here in this verse. And amazing, just amazing writing. All the history books tell it, yeah. The country was young with God on its side. That is just Bob Dylan, man. Get it, Bob.
God on its side. The Spanish American War had its day, and the Civil War too was soon laid away, and the names of the heroes I was made to memorize, with guns in their hands and God on their side. The First World War, boys, it came and it went. The reason for fighting I never did get, but I learned to accept it with pride. For you don't count the dead
That's
when
crazy.
God's on your side.
I'm just, I mean, it's just excellent writing. It's excellent writing. It's a lot of thoughtfulness. It's a lot of perception. He's just like hitting us where it hurts. Hitting humans. Why am I calling us humans? Humanity where it hurts. The reason for fighting I never did get, but I learned to accept it with pride. You see, this is a part of just kind of that propaganda of like what is okay and what is not okay. Like at the end of the day, like we have so much agency when it comes on to deciding what we stand for and what we stand against. And like things like, I don't know, patriotism, um, race, gender, all these different things, they can cloud your judgment and make you feel like you have to believe or support something that you genuinely do not believe or accept. And it's so important for you to try to push against that, because you are not where you come from. You're not what you look like. You're not your parents. You're not the people who raised you. Yes, they contributed to you, but at the end of the day, you decide. You decide what you believe in. And it's hard to be somebody who, you know, stands your ground and all these different things, but it's so important for you to challenge and push back against these things that are thrust upon you because of whatever you may look like, or wherever you're from, or who your parents are, or how much money you have, or what you look like, if you're fat or you're skinny or whatever. It's just really good writing, man, and a lot of thoughtfulness. And yeah, I hope that when people hear this, they do process it with thoughtfulness, because it is a a summoning, you know, something saying, look here, look at this, look at the contradictions.
The Second World War came to an end. We forgave the Germans, and then we were friends. So they murdered 6 million in the ovens they fried. The Germans now too have God on their side. I've learned to hate the Russians all through my whole life. If another war comes, it's them we must fight. To hate them and fear them, to run and to hide, and accept it all bravely with God on my side. But now we got weapons of chemical dust. If fire them were forced to, then fire them we must. One push of the button, and it shot the world wide. And you never ask questions when God's on your side. Through many dark hours, I've been thinking about this, that Jesus Christ was betrayed by a kiss. But I can't think for you. You'll have to decide whether Judas Iscariot had God on his side. So now as I'm leaving, I'm weary as hell. The confusion I'm feeling ain't no tongue can tell. The words fill my head and fall to the floor. That if God's on our side, He'll stop the next war.
I find like his harmonica to be so piercing to the soul and to the brain. Like, what a beautiful instrument he selected. Listen, I don't know what to tell you, you know, about this track, you know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to express what I'm feeling aside from saying that I don't even know. I need a moment to think about this. I'll probably just cut it and say it. Humans do a lot of harm and hurt to each other. And we pass a lot of responsibility and blame on others. And a lot of people use God as a shield. Like this is God's will and all these different things. But God's will is confusing to me because when I see some of the terrible things that have happened on this earth, I just cannot understand it. And I'm being told by I'm being told that I'm too foolish and I'm too dumb to understand God, thus I will never understand why things happen. How dare I ask such questions? But why should I not? This kind of willful ignorance of being afraid of challenging authority, whether that authority is God or anyone else, because we feel like, oh, let me not trouble anybody, let me not do anything here. Why should we ever accept this excuse that God is on our side? At the end of the day, if there's gonna be a third world war, it's gonna be us. It's gonna be us that starts it. It's gonna be us not stepping in, not doing the things we ought to do to protect each other and to protect others. That's gonna cause it. It's us turning a blind eye. This is just one of those things that just makes no sense. I see stuff like that, I'm like, really? Is God on our side? So I feel very similar to Bob here when it comes on to this track, and I just think he's done such a great job. I feel like the thing that really shines through here is just the fact that he's so young and he's asking these questions. That he's trying to have this conversation, and I think he's doing so successfully, and it really shows that Bob is a deep thinker. And I don't know, I just really appreciate the song. We're gonna move on to One Too Many Mornings. These are some great titles.
Down the street the dogs are barking, and the day is getting dark. As the night comes in a falling, the dogs lose their bark, and the silent night will shatter from the sounds inside my mind. There's one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind.
I need to hear that again, sorry.
Down the street the dogs are barking, and the day is getting dark. As the night comes in a falling, the dogs lose their bark. Beautiful. And the silent night will shatter from the sounds inside my mind. There's one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind.
Wow. Is he tired? Exhausted?
From the crossroads of my doorstep, my eyes start to fade, and I turn my head back to the room where my love and I have laid. And I gaze back to the street, the sidewalk, and the sign, and I'm one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind.
I just want to say that this is just an incredibly beautiful song. To me, it sounds like exhaustion. Just tired, and the silent night will shatter from the sounds inside my mind. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind.
is a restless, hungry feeling that don't mean no one no good. When everything I'm a saying, you can say it just as good. You're right from your side, and I am right from mine. We're both just one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind.
Sorry. I really love verse 3. It says it's a restless, hungry feeling that don't mean no one no good. When everything I'm a saying, you can say it just as good. You're right from your side, I'm right from mine. We're both just one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind. This just sounds so exhausted. It's just such an exhausted track. Like there's nothing for us to say because everything that I can say, you already know what I'm gonna say, and you can say it better than me. So what's the point of us even talking? Gosh. Bob Dylan is said to have written this song about the ending of his relationship with Suze Rotolo and the start of his new relationship with Joan Baez. It feels that way, man. Feels exhausted. It's just there's just so much exhaustion in there. All right, let's keep on to North Country Blues. Oh, I love
Come
this.
and gather round, friends, and I'll tell you a tale.
Oops, sorry. I didn't have the lyrics pulled up. All right, let's go ahead with North Country Blues.
Come and gather round, friends, and I'll tell you a tale of when the red iron ore pits run aplenty, but the cardboard filled windows and old men on the benches tell you now that the whole town is empty.
Sounds like
in the north and
sounds like a coal mine or something. Coal, you know those coal I don't even know what I'm saying. One of those coal places where coal mine coal. Okay.
in the north end of town, my own children have grown. Well, I was raised on the other. In the wee hours of youth, my mother took sick, and I was brought up by my brother.
Listen to his
The
voice,
iron
man.
ore poured as the years passed. I was
Jeez.
brought up by my brother.
Very good.
The iron ore poured as the years passed the door. The drag lines and shovels, he was humming, till one day my brother failed to come home.
Oh no.
The same as my father before him. With a long winter's wait from the window I watched. My friends, they couldn't have been kinder, and my school aid was cut as I quit in the spring to marry John Thomas. With a long winter's wait from the window I watched. My friends, they couldn't have been kinder, and my school aid was cut as I quit in the spring to marry John Thomas, a miner. How the years passed again and the giving was good, with a lunch bucket filled every season. But with 3 babies born, the work was cut down to a half-a-day shift with no reason.
Wow.
And the shaft was soon shut and my work was cut.
So, I believe I had seen a spoiler for this in the comment section where somebody mentioned that this is also written from the perspective of a woman, and I can see it here where it says to marry John Thomas, a minor. I just want to comment on the song as a whole, and what I've heard so far is that it sounds like one of those old industrial town or something where people were actually going into these mines to work or something, and a lot of accidents would happen. So that's just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm developing like a true value for Bob's ability to tell stories and to bring you into places and to kind of pull you in and give you that experience even though you might not have been there before.
And the fire in the air, it felt frozen. Till a man come to speak, and he said in 1 week that number 11 was closing. They complain in the east they're paying too high. They say that your ore ain't worth digging, that it's much cheaper down in the South American towns, where the miners work almost for nothing. So the mining gates locked and the red iron rotted, and the room smelled heavy from drinking, and the sad silent song made the hour twice as long as I waited for the sun to go sinking. I lived by the window as he talked to himself, waited for the sun to go sinking. I lived by the window as he talked to himself. This silence of tongues it was building, till one morning's wake the bed it was bare, and I was left alone with 3 children. The summer is gone, the ground's turning cold. The stars one by one they're folded. My children will go as soon as they grow, for there ain't nothing here now to hold them.
I find like there's so much sadness in the stuff that like he writes, and I wonder why. I mean, perhaps it's just the early stuff, and perhaps I haven't come up to like the light-hearted things that are gonna come up, but it just feels like there's just a whole lot of sadness in this, and I don't know. I don't know. I appreciate his capacity for good storytelling, for his ability to bring us along. Um, and just generally, I enjoyed the track. You know, I was gonna share earlier that I remember there was a book that I read where they spoke about people who died in some mines and how, you know, the way that the morning looked the day after, how incredibly sad it was, how beautiful it was to the point where it felt like a mockery. I feel like that's what this song brought back to me. My computer was trying to die on me. Yeah. Okay, let's continue to Only a Pawn in Their Game. This one has been requested quite a lot, so I'm excited to hear it. But first, I need to pull it up. Need to pull it up. All right, let's go.
A bullet from the back of a bush took Medgar Evers' blood. A finger fired the trigger to his name. A handle hid out in the dark. A hand set the spark. Two eyes took the aim. Behind a man's brain. But he can't be blamed. He's only a pawn in their game. The South politician preaches to the poor white man. You got more.
All right, let's dive into that first verse a little bit, and what it's saying. Oh boy, this here, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think they call that the banality of evil. You know, just going along with what you are told to do. I just cannot agree with that. Yes, you are a pawn, but you're also your own person. So you just go ahead and do something awful without thinking about it. Like I really need to know from these people like what's happening in their heads, because like we can't, if everybody's just gonna go ahead with being a pawn and not question what they're doing, then we're gonna be in trouble constantly because nobody wants to question anything. That upsets me.
A bullet from the back of a bush took Medgar Evers' blood. A finger fired the trigger to his name. A handle hid out in the dark. A hand set the spark. Two eyes took the aim. Behind a man's brain. But he can't be blamed. He's only a pawn in their game.
Like, I just don't understand it. Like, we watch so many movies and TV shows, and in those movies, people are being heroes. They're standing against people who are forcing them to do things or trying to get them to do something that's terrible. Yet in the real world, it's like it's something beyond our ability. And so we find our relief or catharsis through movies, but we can't do it in real life. It's just stupid.
The South politician preaches to the poor white man. You got more than the blacks, don't complain. You're better than them, you've been born with white skin, they explain. And the Negro's name is used, it is plain, for the politician's gain. As he rises to fame, and the poor white remains on the caboose of the train. But it ain't him to blame, he's only a pawn in their game.
Like another verse that like it upsets me. Oh boy. I just, at the end of the day, like, one person's burden isn't lighter or heavier because of another. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you know how some people want to try to like dismiss other people's struggle because they seem that they should be better off or not have any problems or whatever. Like, people want to do this with like actual like rich people, like, oh, you're rich, so you shouldn't have anything to complain about. You don't have any stress. What are you even talking about? Like, every person has struggles. So like this argument is utter crap. Utter crap, man. Utter crap. Like, everybody's issues should be evaluated on their own merit, not in comparison to somebody else. You can't tell me that I'm not having a hard day because somebody's having a harder day. It don't make no sense, man. And in this case, I don't know. Gosh. And yes. They do use these arguments to their advantage so that they can gain something. Terrible.
The deputy sheriffs, the soldiers, the governors get paid. And the marshals and cops get the same. But the poor white man's used in the hands of them all like a tool. He's taught in his school from the start by the rule that the laws are with him to protect his white skin, to keep up his hate, so he never thinks straight about the shape that he's in. But it ain't him to blame, he's only a pawn in their game. From the poverty
I just can't accept it. I just can't accept it. I'm sorry. I can't accept it. I get it, but I can't accept it. You know what I'm saying? I can't accept it. At what point are we going to stop being pawns? At what point are we going to say, wait a second, they're actually trying to turn us against each other? Like I am yet to meet a person of like another race where we have issues because of our race. I'm yet to meet that person. I'm yet to meet that person. I'm yet to meet a person where we have like issues with each other simply because of class or whatever. Yet to meet them. So like the regular people, like from our own experiences, we actually have no problems with each other, but they want us to believe that we have problems with each other. I don't have no problems with nobody. I ain't got no beef with nobody. Unless you do something to me or you're trying to hurt me or something, we ain't got no beef. Nothing. We got to learn to question, man. As Albert Camus said, men get into the habit of living before they get into the habit of thinking. We need to start thinking. We need to question things. This don't make no sense. How is it that you're supposed to have laws that are for you, yet you're suffering? It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, man. And then they want to disqualify your suffering simply because of the color of your skin. Well, that makes sense. To tell you that, oh, you're better than these people, so you're not struggling. That's stupid.
He's in, but it ain't him to blame. He's only a pawn in their game. From the poverty shacks, he looks from the cracks to the tracks. And the hoofbeats pound in his brain, and he's taught how to walk in a pack, shoot in the back with his fist in a clinch, to hang and to lynch, to hide neath the hood, to kill with no pain, like a dog on a chain. He ain't got no name, but it ain't him to blame. He's only a pawn in their game. Today Medgar Evers was buried from the bullet he caught. They're lowering him down as a king. But when the shadowy sun sets on the one that fired the gun, you'll see by his grave, on the stone that remains, carved next to his name, his epitaph plain, only a pawn in their game.
Yeah. I get what the song is doing, but I feel like we've come to, you know what I'm saying? The times they are changing, man. The times they are changing. A time for us to realize that, yes, we might have been a pawn in their game, but we can take ourselves out of the game and start actually doing things that will make life better for other people. It's now. You're going to tell me you're not to blame. You're partly to blame. You're partly to blame. Not because you've been groomed and taught to be a certain kind of a way means that you have zero responsibility in the decisions that you're taking, in the lives that you're hurting. If we're supposed to just dismiss every person's wrongdoing as it's not their fault because they're just a pawn, then what are we waiting for? What's the end game? Like, we just wait for them to die? and try to raise a better generation. But like, if for whatever reason the people who live over there are raising their kids a certain kind of way, then we just have to wait on all of those people to die. That don't make no sense. Like, we have to start thinking today. We have to start thinking critically today and start asking questions today, not tomorrow, today. Realize that your choices, the things you're doing, they're hurting people. It's not that hard. Things you're doing, it's hurting people. They're real human beings with real feelings. Let's start there. You're a pawn in their game. Good to recognize that, but I will not accept that you're not to blame. We all have agency. We all have agency, and we should all learn to develop the ability to question things. To question things that are put in front of us, to say, is this really true? Do I believe that because I'm a woman, I have to do this? Do I believe that because I'm a man, I have to do this? Or do I want to go about things differently? Because I want to be true to myself and I don't want to hurt anybody else. The song describes the oppression of lower class Southern whites. While the civil rights movement soars, they are simply used as manipulation by the man to continue racial oppression. They are nothing but pawns in this game. No. No. No, man. No. The same sort of like revolutionary mindset, that comes from certain communities where they're like, we have to rise above this kind of like way of thinking. That has to happen too. That has to happen too. We can't just accept this as just being the norm, as being some sort of excuse or being some sort of explanation. This is no explanation. The explanation is they weren't taught to think. They weren't taught to think. You gotta learn how to think. And maybe then we can see change. But if you think that like that's what it is, they're just pawn. So what are we gonna do? No. Somebody gotta teach them how to think. That kind of got me riled up. I'm sorry. Boots of Spanish Leather is next. I appreciated the song. I appreciate that it's a conversation starter. Do I appreciate the conclusion of the song? Or do I feel like the conclusion of the song is the end of the conversation? No. We gotta talk more. We gotta do more. That's not enough.
Oh, I'm sailing away, my own true love. I'm sailing away in the morning.
This sounds so much like the other one, like from his second album. Am I wrong about this? North Country Fair. That's what that sounds like to me. No. I gotta find it. I gotta look it up. Actually, come on. Bob Dylan. North. Is it North Country Girl? Let's see.
If you're traveling in the North Country Fair.
All right, see? And then hear this. This don't sound similar?
I'm sailing away in the morning.
Maybe not.
Here's something I can send you from across this sea.
I mean, it's the same singer, so.
From the place that I'll be landing. No, there's nothing you can send me, my own true love. There's nothing I'm wishing to be owning. Just to carry yourself back to me unspoiled. From across that lonesome ocean.
That's beautiful. Wow.
But I just thought you might want something fine, made of silver or of golden. either from the mountains of Madrid or from the coast of Barcelona.
Wow.
But if I had the stars of the darkest night and the diamonds from the deepest ocean, I'd forsake them all for your sweet kiss.
Oh.
For that's all I'm wishing to be owning.
This is such a beautiful, classy romance song. So humble, so aware. It's beautiful. I like it. And I do like romantic Bob. Romantic Bob is quite romantic.
But I might be gone a long old time, and it's only that I'm asking. Here's something I can send you to remember me by, to make your time more easy passing. Oh, how can you ask me again? It only brings me sorrow. This same thing I would want today, I will want again tomorrow.
That's beautiful.
Oh, I got a letter on a lonesome day. It was from her ship, a sailing, saying I don't know when I'll be coming back again. It depends on how I'm feeling. If you, my love, must think that way, I'm sure your mind is a roaming. I'm sure your thoughts are not with me, but with the country to where you're going. So take heed of the western winds. Take heed of the stormy weather. And yes, there's something you can send back to me. Spanish boots are Spanish leather.
This was a beautiful song. I have no idea what this last part means. Let's click and see. Oh. I see. Can you see it? Yeah, okay. Having understood that she is gone, he realizes he would settle for something to remember his love by. That memory will always be of her trip, her walking off the Spain. He chooses boots. The material, Spanish leather, is perhaps influenced by Woody Guthrie's Gypsy Davy, in which a woman runs off with a songster gypsy, and when found, he's listening to his music. And to extend her hand, she refuses to take off her Spanish leather glove and go home. I like it. This was a beautiful song, incredibly romantic, and I don't know what to say. It's just really romantic, and I really enjoyed it. You know, at the end of the day, you love somebody, you really truly love somebody. What you love and want is for them to be around you, with you. No gift can make up for them not being near you. So I get it. Next, we have When the Ship Comes In, produced by Tom Wilson. I think this is the same producer throughout. So let's keep on listening.
Oh, the time will come up when the winds will stop and the breeze will cease to be breathing, like the stillness in the wind before the hurricane begins, the hour that the ship comes in. And the sea will split and the ships will hit, and the sands on the shoreline will be shaking.
Okay.
And the tide will sound and the waves will pound, and the morning will be a breaking. The fishes will laugh as they swim out of the path, and the seagulls they'll be smiling, and the rocks on the sand will proudly stand the hour that the ship comes in. And the words that are used for to get the ship confused will not be understood as the spoken, for the chains of the sea will have busted in the night and be buried at the bottom of the ocean.
Enter the Bob that I know from Mr. Tambourine Man, because what is he talking about? I do not understand. Oh, the time will come when the winds will stop and the breeze will cease to be breathing. Beautiful, I get that. And the breeze will cease to be breathing, like the stillness in the wind before the hurricane begins, the hour that the ship comes in. Okay, the time will come and the sea will split and the ships will hit. And will be shaking and the tide will sound and the waves will pound and the morning will be a breaking. And the words that are used for the to get the ship confused will not be understood as they're spoken, but the chains of the sea will be busted in the night and be buried on the bottom of the sea. All right, let's keep on going. I don't know. It sounds like, a telling of the things that are going to happen, of how things are going to unfold. Oh, the clock will will not, strike 12 and this, that, and the waves will rise and all. Like, that's how that one comes across, but I don't know what it means.
Ocean. A song will lift as the mainsail shifts and the boat drifts onto the shoreline, and the sun will respect every face on the deck the hour that the ship comes in, and the sands will roll out a carpet of gold for your weary toes to be a-touching, and the ship's wise men will remind you once again that the whole wide world is watching.
Wow, that was great.
Oh, the foes will rise with the sleep still in their eyes, and they'll jerk from their beds and think they're dreaming, but they'll pinch themselves and squeal, and they'll know that it's for real the hour that the ship comes in. And they'll raise their hands saying, we'll meet all your demands, but we'll shout from the bow, your days are numbered. And like Pharaoh's tribe, they'll be drowned in the tide, and like Goliath, they'll be conquered.
This sounds like the end of the world. Is that what that is? Yeah, this sounds like the end of the world. Oh, the foes will rise with the sleep still in their eyes. And they'll jerk from their beds and think they're dreaming, but they'll pinch themselves and squeal, and they'll know that it's for real the hour that the ship comes in. Yeah, this sounds like, a kind of gospel, kind of coming, like, end of the world type song. What does it say? Inspired by a hotel clerk who refused to allow Dylan a room due to his unwashed appearance, the song, a classic Dylan-esque folk, allows Also draws influence from Brecht's and Wheel's opera song Pirate Jenny in its parallel poetic use of the ship as an instrument by which enemies, and in Dylan's case, the narrow-minded ones that didn't want to accept the ongoing cultural changes, are destroyed. Okay, not necessarily the end of the world. Maybe the end of their world as they know it. But I liked it. I feel like that's what it represents to me, and I like what it did. I like what was done in here. I love the mystery of it. I like that I don't necessarily understand exactly what it's saying, and I'm just really having a lot of fun with that one. Hmm. And the words that are used to get the ship confused will not be understood as they're spoken. For the change of the sea. This is really creative writing. I don't know. If I feel like I'd have to do like a separate video just for this song alone, because there's just so much to talk about in terms of just like what's being done in every single verse. Amazing. And it seems like the chorus was different each time. Okay. I wonder if they were meant to be choruses or verses. Very good. I enjoyed that one. I don't even know what to say about it, to be honest, aside from it's that it's mysterious and it felt like the end of something. The end of the world is what it felt like. Okay, let's continue to the lonesome death of Hattie Carrol. Let's go. Did I pull it up? I did. Okay. The lonesome death of Hattie Carrol. Let's go.
Williams and Zinger killed poor Hattie Carrol with a cane that he twirled around his diamond ring finger at a Baltimore hotel society gathering, and the cops was called in and his weapon took from him as they rode him in custody down to the station and booked Williams and Zinger for first-degree murder. But you who philosophize disgrace and criticize all fears, take the rag away from your face. Now ain't the time for your tears. Williams and Zinger, who had 24 years, owns a tobacco farm of 600 acres with rich, wealthy parents who provide and protect him, and high office relations in the politics of Maryland reacted to his deed with a shrug of his shoulders and swear words and sneering, and his tongue it was a snarling. And in a matter of minutes, on bail was out walking.
No, man.
But you who philosophize disgrace and criticize fears, take the rag away from your face. Now ain't the time for your tears. Hattie Carrol was a maid in the kitchen.
I just want to pause for a few comments here. This is just talking about, how people who are seen as less than in society often experience these terrible tragedies, and then people who actually, are above get away scotch-free. Like a shrug of your shoulders, like, what kind of monster are you? That's wild.
Carrol was a maid in the kitchen. She was 51 years old and gave birth to 10 children.
Wow.
Who carried the dishes and took out the garbage, and never sat once at the head of the table, and didn't even talk to the people at the table, who just cleaned up all the food from the table and emptied the ashtrays on a whole other level. Got killed by a blow, lay slain by a cane, that sailed through the air and came down through the room, doomed and determined to destroy all the gentle, and she never done nothing to Williams and Zinger. And you who philosophize disgrace and criticize all fears, take the rag away from your face. Now ain't the time for your tears.
What I just don't understand about Bob Dylan is just like how much wisdom he seems to carry. I mean, throughout all of the songs that we've heard so far on this album, there's just so much wisdom being demonstrated, displayed, applied to every single thing that he's put on this album. It's kind of just, it's weird that this is like his third album because, like, before this, what you've only heard like a few of his original songs. It's kind of just, it's strange. He was really evolving so very fast. Like, this is so impressive. Mm, so
In the
good.
courtroom of honor, the judge pounded his gavel to show that all's equal and that the courts are on the level, and that the strings in the books ain't pulled and persuaded, and that even the nobles get properly handled once that the cops have chased after and caught 'em, and that the ladder of law has no top and no bottom. Stared at the person who killed for no reason, who just happened.
If Bob is the one playing the guitar here, I think what he's doing with his vocals is so impressive. Like, he's moving at a complete, like, I don't know if I would have been able to like put my, if I was challenged to put my vocals on top of what he's doing with the guitar here, if I could have done it that way, because he's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of offbeat, but like in a good way, in the best way possible. Like, it's offbeat, the guitar, it's like he's not in step with the guitar, but it's done really well. I like it.
Courtroom of honor, the judge pounded his gavel to show that all's equal and that the courts are on the level, and that the strings in the books ain't pulled and persuaded, and that even the nobles
Right
get
here.
properly handled once that the cops have chased after and caught 'em, and that the ladder of law has no top and no bottom. Stared at the person who killed for no reason, who just happened to be feeling that way without warning. And he spoke through his cloak most deep and distinguished, and handed out strongly for penalty and repentance Williams and Zinger with a 6-month sentence. But you who philosophize disgrace and criticize all fears, bury the rain deep in your face, for now's the time for your tears.
Some things are so absurd that all it leaves for you to do is laugh. A 6-month sentence for murder? Sometimes human beings disappoint me, man. Bob Dylan wrote this song about the murder of Hattie Carrol, a barmaid who was killed by a white, wealthy man named William Zantz Zinger. Nice. So disappointing. All right. Restless Farewell is what comes next. Like, I just like, I'm like so unnerved by the fact that like I've never even heard of this lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't speak her name. Like, it's not something that's taught. And like, I just like, it kind of frustrates me that like people die like this and they keep on dying like this, and there's no like, no explicit action being taken to say we're gonna make sure that this never repeats itself. Because I know like all over the world, like these stories are happening again and again and again and again. And the injustice is repeating itself too. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. Aside from it's disappointing. Restless Farewell is the last one. And boy, has he not done a good job? Hasn't he done a good job with how he's laid the tracks out on this album? I think very well arranged and, intentional. To start with, the times they are changing and this Restless Farewell, we'll see. That's how I'm feeling. Quite restless, to be honest. Quite disturbed. The album leaves this leaves a taste. It has an aftertaste. I feel like a lot of like upset. It creates an upset, which I think is great. It's wonderful. It's just a job well done. Restless Farewell.
Oh, all the money that in my whole life I did spend, be it mine right or wrongfully, I let it slip gladly to my friends to tie up the time most forcefully. But the bottles are done, we've killed each one, and the table's full and overflowed. And the corner sign says it's closing time, so I'll bid farewell and bid down the road. Oh, every girl that ever I've touched, I did not do it harmfully. And every girl that ever I've hurt, I did not do it knowingly. But to remain as friends, you need the time to make amends and stay behind. And since my feet are now fast and point away from the past, I'll bid farewell and bid down the line. Oh, every foe that ever I faced, the cause was there before we came. And every cause that ever I fought it full without regret or shame.
I just This is just really well done. I feel like if we had like a listening party, we'd have the opportunity to just sit and talk about what each of these tracks mean to us. I think at the end of it, like, this album to me seems to be demanding change. And so the title is quite fitting. That was one of the things that I wanted to see. Like, what does the title of this, does it carry throughout the album? And it does. It's echoed throughout every track. We need to change things. And I'm curious, if we were supposed to have the Times They Are Changing 2025 release, what would the tracks be on that? What would we be singing about then? And how similar would those songs be to what Bob Dylan already wrote in this album, in this release? And what is this, 1964? If I haven't mixed it up. I don't know, man. It's a good album. It's a really good album. It's a job well done. I can see that a lot of like the stuff he held close to his chest in that documentary, some of those things he didn't want to put in the second album, he does it here. Or was it in the first? In the first album, he does it here. It's really well done.
But the dark does die as the curtain is drawn, and somebody's eyes must meet the dawn. And if I see the day, I'd only have to stay. So I'll bid farewell in the night and be gone. Oh, every thought that strung a knot in my mind, I might go insane if it couldn't be sprung. But it's not to stand naked under unknowing eyes. It's for myself and my friends, my stories are sung. But the time ain't tall if on time you depend, and no word is possessed by no special friend. And though the line is cut, it ain't quite the end. I just bid farewell till we meet again. Oh, a false clock tries to tick out my time, to disgrace, distract, and bother me. And the dirt of gossip blows into my face, and the dust of rumors covers me. But if the arrow is straight and the point is slick, it can pierce through dust no matter how thick. So I'll make my stand and remain as I am, and bid farewell and not give a damn.
Oh, went full screen. Sorry. Well, we have arrived at the end of The Times They Are Changing. Let's read what this said. It's fitting that the final track on Times They Are Changing adapts a feral song tradition. Many of Dylan's melodies from this period were based on Irish folk songs popularized during his time by the Clancy brothers and Tommy McKim. Restless Farewell closely follows the example of a classic that dates back at least to the 1770s, The Parting Glass, traditionally heard as a goodbye song at the end of concerts or gatherings. Okay, well, friends, I, let's see. I feel like the times they are changing came at the perfect time. I think this shows a young person very much concerned with the world, concerned with how things were, and concerned with making those things better through his craft. And again, it's something that I don't see being done as often in my own generation, where entire albums are being dedicated to societal problems. I mean, it is being done, but it's mostly being done on the underground, so we don't get a lot of people on the mainstream who are able to like put songs out like this. And so it's just a beautiful thing to witness. It's kind of crazy to see how relevant a lot of this still is. I feel like every single track on this was like extremely good. This is like a really, really well put together album. And I love that it's just 10 tracks. I love how intentional it is. I love that it's not like loaded. I should have centered myself. I'm sorry. I love that it's not like loaded with songs, but like you really get an opportunity to think about every single track on the album and kind of like absorb that and process that and start thinking about it, versus getting caught up in just like a bunch of like a bunch of different singles. So I feel like the album just in many ways is just really, really good, really like perfect. It's perfect. It's just so much of Bob's potential shining through here in terms of his vocal work, in terms of what he does with the harmonica, his guitar work, his writing style. A lot of it is here and it's evident in his early works, and that's just so impressive. I mean, I can't believe like some of the biggest songs and some of the most popular songs that you guys have recommended on this channel were present in the second album and this album. So where do we go from here? What do we see from here? I don't know. I know you were waiting for this for a while. I really hope you enjoyed the reaction. I feel like a part of what happens when I'm listening to Bob Dylan, I don't know if it's just a folk style, but it definitely kind of mellows me out. So I'm kind of like here. Except for like when he brings in subject matter that gets me kind of riled up and then I get here. But like I'm right here right now and it's pretty good. So yeah. I really enjoyed the album. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Let me know what comes next. Where do we go from here? Do we watch another part of No Direction Home, or do we just jump straight into an album? I'm kind of like ready to see the evolution. I feel like, after watching the live performance of Rolling Stone, I don't know. I feel like I get it. I get why Bob would have wanted to change his style and to do different things, just because like I feel like he has so much to say and he has so much to offer, and you just cannot confine somebody who's growing at such a rapid pace into just one genre. Like obviously he needs to break out of that and do more, and I just, good for him, man. I'm glad that he did it. And I'm glad for all of us to be able to witness and receive his music. It's wonderful. So yeah. And that's it for my reaction to The Times They Are Changing. Again, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.